huge. I know, I saw one of the dogs earlier. I can't wait to go in there and see what it's like. You like it?
Okay, this is the latest project. It is a 43-foot Nauta-line houseboat. We bought it from St. Louis down to Baton Rouge, and it needs a total overhaul. It has a lot of rotten wood on the inside, but surprisingly the exterior fiberglass is in pretty good shape. The Nauta-line brand, I believe, is the only brand of houseboat that has removable catwalks. We were able to take off the catwalks in St. Louis. It brings the boat down just under 13 foot, and it makes trucking much cheaper because you don't need to escort at that size. So it saved us $3,000 in trucking to get it here, and we only paid $3,500 for the boat, so that was a big deal. Lee's Logistics brought it. Great guy. He backed the trailer up into this little tight area. Difficult to get a big boat off the trailer because you can't just jack on the boat. It'll break unless you jack uniformly in 10 different places. That's difficult to do. So what we did was we jacked the trailer up in the air with some big 20-ton bottle jacks, and then we put props under the boat. Then he lowered his trailer and pulled out, and the boat is sitting now on I have 8 actual screw jacks for boats, and I have a whole bunch of 4x4s with wedges, and it's very secure. It's leaning forward, which is not ideal. It'd be nice if it was perfectly level, but we're going to live with what we got. We got it off the trailer without breaking anything, and it's safe, and that's where this boat's probably going to sit for the next year. These are the catwalks. They're removed. Luckily they're in half, so each one is about 20 feet long. My son-in-law and I were able to get them all off the boat and get these little pieces go around the front on the walkway. Kind of makes like a little guardrail. They came off also fairly easily. Most of the screws were able to come out. This is the back of the boat, and the engines actually run, and they run pretty well. We're going to try to sell them. We're going to put outboards on it because this is Louisiana and our water is very shallow, and we're kind of concerned about the props hanging off the bottom of the boat when we go up in the marsh. So we're going to take the engines out, hopefully sell them for some coin, and put outboards. Those are the water tanks that came out of the hull. The fiberglass part of the boat is in remarkably good condition, but the stringers are in remarkably poor condition, as is the transom. It's kind of amazing we made it across the Mississippi River without an event. Okay, it's pretty dark in here. I hope it comes out. But this is the main cabin. You're looking at the bottom of the boat. Those are the stringers that came from the factory, and I have removed the bottom section of that rear bulkhead between the cabin and the engines, and I have it braced up with a 2x12 because I didn't want the hull to distort. There's not much left in the way of support. These stringers are so rotten. It is just amazing. You can just grab handfuls of rotted wood from inside them, and that bulkhead was the same way, and the rear transom is the same way. Luckily they're inboard engines, so there was no stress on the transom when we picked it up other than keeping the water out. So we're going to replace all of these stringers with something more substantial. Right now they're just a sheet of 3/4 plywood with a poorly applied film of fiberglass on it. They cut the weep holes after the fact. They drill holes in it after the fact. There was standing water in the hull for some reason, but you can see it on the water tanks and the holding tanks, so the wood just totally rotted out, and you probably can't see it from the video, but most of this glass is cracked. It's all coming out. That's the first project. This is a view looking the other way, looking toward the front of the boat. We've removed the entire bathroom, removed the entire kitchen, and I'm going to have to cut these two cabinets up so I can get to that bulkhead that separates the front sleeping area from the main, from this back room, so I can run the stringers through. The steps come off, that's no problem. But you can't, you have to have access, or this is just fruitless. You're going to do a bad job. So we removed everything. Houseboat's pretty simple construction. It won't take that much to put everything back together. One of the first problems is that the boat is not level either way, side to side or front to back. It's going to be kind of hard to determine where to put the stringers back. To make it more complicated, some of these stringers are completely broken in half and heaved up. So what I think I'm going to do is the stringer with the orange dots seems to be the one in the best shape. I'm going to take a reading at every dot to get the angle that the bottom should be cut at. And I'll cut out the old stringer and use the curve on the bottom of the stringer to give me the shape of my bottom stringer. And the red dots, I can get the bevel for the bottom of the stringer. I'm sure these pieces of plywood don't even have a bevel on them. And then I'll make a pair of those mirror image. I'll put one on that side. I'll put one on this side. They'll be the same. They'll be the same distance from the corners of the hull. And then once those are located, I'm going to assume those are good, even though they may be twisted. We'll make all the other stringers, the top of the other stringers match that. When it gets back in the water, it should untwist and it should be fairly flat. So that's what we're going to do. The orange dots are to let me know where to take a reading with my miter gauge. So I took my bevel readings, and from front to back, it's pretty much the same. So that makes it a little easier. The dead rise on the bottom of the boat is the same. But these things are gone.